Hi, guys. John, the firearms instructor, and welcome back to our YouTube Live. Today, we've got a little bit of different back screen here. We're not in the range. We have some training going on, so we put a green screen up behind you. Uh, I I apologize for that, but we're kind of working on as we go here. So we've got a lot of neat stuff here this evening. I have the comments open. If you're on this YouTube live, don't forget to comment below there. Tell us where you're at and where you're from. And at that point in time, you can excuse someone's at the front door. I apologize, guys. Someone can let us know where you're from. We would appreciate it very much. We're going to hang for a few seconds here, then we're going to get started. We have a great show this week. This week, we're going to talk about uh, uh, last week's drill of the week. We're going to talk about 10 drills you need to know. We're going to talk about range etiquette, and there's a lot of other stuff involved in here. If you can, if you're on the stream itself, go ahead and make sure you give Mark J. There we go. We appreciate you getting on there, Mark. We really appreciate that very much. So we are going to start off the YouTube live with our drill of the week. Now, the drill of the week we talked about this week was a unique one. It was a one-shot drill. I'm going to show you a thumbnail from our shot there. This is on our YouTube channel at this point in time. And the one-shot drill basically is a white piece of paper with little black dots on it. I shot this yesterday. I don't think I shot it too bad, but I don't think I shot it great. And the idea of this drill is to put you in a position where you can get comfortable with pointing this weapon at a target and impacting where you're aiming. This is kind of one of those things you got to be honest with yourself. I used the 6 o'clock hold. I took the little black dots. I tried it very much so to impact the dots themselves. My right side, I did pretty well with it. My left side, I was a little low and to the left, which is commonly what I do. This is a great drill that'll give you confidence to know when you got that gun out in front of you that you're going to be shooting straight and not off the left or the right. You don't need much. You just need a weapon. You need a magazine. You need one round per magazine. I did two magazines uh, per uh, per run on this. It worked out pretty well for us. I would recommend this drill. Probably the first thing you do when you get to the range would be the paper tray paper, being the one shot drill. This one shot drill gives you a lot of neat stuff. You don't need a lot of expensive paper. You just need a white piece of paper, white target up there with two black dots on it. Don't have black dots, you can always draw your black dots with your tactical pen. Very good drill for you to work on. We actually did not put this drill in the 10 drills we're going to talk about today, but definitely would be a great add on to your things. Remember, you come to the range, you got to make sure that you're doing something proficient. You got to be proficient with a pistol because remember, you're responsible for your bullet till it hits the ground. All right, so let's pull that off there. We want to say thank you very much to a special person today. We actually had our first member. We got to 3,000 subscribers, and then YouTube allowed us to do some monetization, and we were able to do some flyers. But we opened up our memberships, and we have a special person. We're going to run this thing. I want to thank you to When Pigs Fly. He was our first member. He's donated. He's going to be our monthly member right now, and we really appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thinking getting that membership is very simple and easy. Once we get more than 5 or 6 members, we're going to do a lot of special stuff for you guys. We're going to do special videos just for you, you only to see. You're going to get special membership um, target that we're going to send out every once in a while. We're going to do a lot of different stuff. But this is a shout out for you, When Pigs Fly. We really, truly appreciate it. Let's see what we have here in comment wise. All right, we got Natasha. Hello, honey. How are you? I'm glad you're on the phone call. Tell your mother I said hello. Hi, mom. Hi, Natasha's mom. I'm glad you're on the call. I'm glad you're here on the video. I said call because I'm always acting like it's a phone call. My kids always tell me that's not a phone call, Dad. You're a YouTube live. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Natasha, very much, honey. All right, so let's talk in regards to the the firearms drill of the week. Firearms drill of the week we already talked about. Let's talk about 10 drills you must know. Now, here's the cool thing about this. I have already had Johnny make up a playlist for you guys to go to our YouTube channel. Every one of these have been played and shot, and there's a full video on each one of these explaining them to T why the video, why the drill is important and what are you going to get out of it. And everything we've got so far, most of these drills are what we consider low round count drills. What is a low round count drill? Low round count drill is a drill that you're going to use less than 50 rounds to finish it. Most of the stuff we're actually only putting 5 rounds in the magazine at a time. 5 rounds in the magazine at a time is going to give you the ability to load a weapon. You're going to have the ability to unload a weapon. You're going to bracking. You're going to sight alignment, sight picture. And don't forget, guys, you put a magazine in the gun with 15 rounds in it, you're along for the ride after the 5th round. So my suggestion is always stick to 5. You're going to be more accurate with 5. If you put a Glock 19 with 15 rounds in it, after 5, you're just along for the ride until the weapon is empty. Those first 5 shots are most important. After that, just along for the ride. So let's go ahead and bring this up. I have a PowerPoint presentation like doing all of these. I split off to the edge here. We're going to make this widescreen so everyone can see it. There we go. This is a little bit of Johnny's. Let's get the When Pigs Fly. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So the very first drill there is, this is 10 drills you must know. All these drills will be low round counts, 5 to 6 rounds. 2 magazines are ideal, and these are going to be shot low and ready. Low and ready means off the table. Now, every one of these drills have been set for somebody shooting in an indoor range. Now, obviously, if you have the training and you have the experience, you can work most of these drills from holster if you wanted to, but most people haven't got a place they can go and work from their holster. But definitely these can be ran off the table in a low and ready position. So the very first drill we're going to talk about is the paper plate drill. And the paper plate drill is pretty simple and easy. It gives you a large 8-inch paper plate. It allows you to have a consistent target. Now, here's the beauty of this. That 8-inch paper plate should be your margin of error. You don't want to shoot outside that paper plate. And because that size of that paper plate, if I were to put that on my chest or I to put that on my head, I would physically be able to hit that at any distance with a firearm. When I say any distance, that's 50 yards. That's 50 yards and in. It's somewhat challenging to get 50, but 50 feet or in, you could definitely be able to hit a paper plate. Now, obviously, a 9 millimeter travels a lot differently, but that defensive range, like we have here, we have 35 feet to the back. So at 35 feet, you should be able to hit this paper plate all the time. At 10 feet, you should be dead center of the paper plate on a regular basis. So what's the good things about this? It's 8 inches. It's a consistent target. It's cheap. The 8-inch paper plates don't cost very much at the dollar store, but you go to Walmart, you're going to pay pretty hefty for them. And you should be accurate at any distance with this target. When I talk about any distance with target, I'm talking about 50 feet and in. You shouldn't be shooting at a bad guy at past 50 feet, anyways. Really, you shouldn't be shooting at a bad guy past 21 feet because remember, you're responsible for your bullet till it hits the ground. But if you kind of be consistent at 3 yards, make it a 3-inch paper, make it a 3-inch circle at 3 yards, at the at the 10 yards or the 30 feet, you should be able to hit that paper plate. You may not be hit dead center, but you won't miss the paper plate. You'll be impacting it. So that's the very first one. This is gonna. It says here in the thumbnail, speed versus accuracy. It's talking about how do you find the balance. And basically, in this video, we want to shoot the weapon as fast as we can, as accurate as we can. And that's the kind of the deal we need to get there. We need to work on those cadence drills. Those cadences are very important. You're not going to have time to eyeball and just blindly just uh, go slow in a defensive situation. You got to make sure that you are uh, proficient at any distance and shoot fast as well. All right, what's the next one? 3x5 drill. Now we've done this 3x5 drill a lot. I use 3x5 cards all the time. This is a horizontal target and a vertical target, so it's pretty nice. You can actually fold them in half as well. 3x5 card. This is a great drill. These are easy to pack in your range bag. You get smaller targets than a paper plate. You can orientation of it. You can make it vertical and horizontal, and you can put multiple targets on one piece of paper. So, in other words, you could use the horizontal paper plate for the center mass of a bad guy, and you could do the vertical part of it as a optical triangle around the eyes. So you could have the 3x5 up top and the other one down below, and you could do a Mozambique or one of those things like that, and give you some targets without spending a ton of money. A great overall drill, low round count as well. I think I did this one here. I think I do 2 magazines at at 3 yards. I put 5 rounds. We try to run 5 rounds as quick as we can. So 3x5 is a good drill. This will support a lot of your grip and your stance and your trigger control, and it will keep you from actually physically pulling the trigger, and pressing that trigger is probably your best solution for you. All right, so the next one is the 3x4. This is drill 3. This is the line drill. Now, the line drill itself, we call this 3 and 4 because we have a horizontal line and a vertical line. The horizontal line itself is, we've done a couple drills on this before. You want to impact that line or just above that line is ideal. And then the vertical line, you want to stay on that line as much as possible. What this does for us, if with that cross section between the vertical and the horizontal, up there in the middle, that's your dominant eye spot. So if you kind of think about that, you want to draw this vertical and horizontal line directly in front of your face, and make sure you have that cross section there in front of your eye. Let's see if I can get the mic right here. This spot right here, that should be your dominant eye. So if you're impacting on this target, you're hitting these black lines. Now you can think of this black line up a little bit, and you can think of this black line up in the. If we want to impact this line here, we want to make sure that we physically are really controlling that weapon and not pulling the trigger. And the vertical line, you want to make sure you're bending at your waist, to aim that gun, and not your wrist. It's two different drills. Horizontal helps with pulling, and vertical helps with line of sight, dominant eye, and things like that. And you get that third drill right there when you're able to find your weapon over dominant eye. These are great drills to help you. So number five is the numbers drill. This is be done solo. You can actually we do these multiple different ways. We did this by doing round counts. Number one is one round. Number two is two rounds. Number three is three rounds. And you can do it. You can trust your sight picture. You can. This is multiple targets, and it's just quick acquisition, so it kind of gives you that ability. It makes you stay on the gun itself. You've got to look through it, keep good accuracy, good grip, and good stance, or you're going to pull off these numbers. So the 1, 2, 3 drill is a great drill. If you're out with a buddy, you can actually have your buddy call the number as well, and that'll help you too. So this is a great drill for that purpose. All right, so here we go. Now, here we go. Another one. This is the one hand drill. Now, we normally shoot this with our dominant hand. Our dominant hand. I'm right handed. I'm right eye dominant. You can see this picture here. There's physically me over my dominant eye. This is going to amplify your inconsistencies. This is going to get you in a point where when you actually engage this weapon, you need to make sure you're really using the tip of your finger, not really pulling the trigger, just pressing that trigger, getting it back, and keeping the weapon over your dominant eye. Trigger control is a necessity and very necessary in this. If you get yourself in a position where you're really just jamming that trigger, you're going to be pulling that shot all over it. If you look right there, this is a drill that you need to practice once in a while, because sooner or later you're going to get in a situation where you may only have one hand. If let's say you got in this critical defense situation, you lost your dominant hand, you're going to need to know how to use that gun with your non-dominant hand. And that's even loading and unloading. I actually did a video 6 months ago with a guy who had lost his dominant hand in a car accident. And for the very first time, he wanted to go start shooting, but he was right-handed. And even though he lost his right hand, he was having a hard time shooting a gun left-handed. And we had to work on the whole thing. We worked on his grip, his stance, his trigger control, his switch of his dominant eye, all that stuff. So I ended up doing a drill. I didn't do it a full video shooting my weapon with my non-dominant hand. I even loaded the magazine with my non-dominant hand, and even racked the slide by using the table to rack it. So we did everything one-handed. It was somewhat challenging, but it's something you need to practice on a regular basis. All right, let's look here for number 7. This is the video I was talking about. This is your offhand. This is not trained very often, guys. Same benefits of one-handed drill. You just need to know how to do it. Now, listen, there's a lot of lefties out there in the world. My son, my oldest son, Johnny, is a left-handed student. And if I were to ask him to do something right-handed, he would have no problem in the world doing anything right-handed. But when you're asking a right-handed student to shoot anything to the left, it's going to be somewhat challenging. So this is a great drill. Again, this is on the list that we have there on our website. Let's go ahead and Mozambique. Obviously, you guys have heard this, but it's to the head, to the body, one the head. This is a great drill. This is allowing you to change levels. It's quick target acquisition, and you got to trust your sight picture. And you're supposed to shoot it fast. That's the key thing to this. Now, when we do some of our tactical classes, we actually bring the target towards the student and then turn that motor on and don't allow them to shoot it until the bad guys in the uh, 10 yards or less, 10 feet or less thing, and to the body, one the head. To the body, one the head. Mozambique is to stop the bad guy in its tracks. You know, sometimes bullets themselves can hit a person and not stop them. Practice the Mozambique in a situation like this is something that is a good drill for you guys. All right, so let's go on. This is the 5 by 5 by 5. This is a really, really good drill because you get 5 rounds at 5 yards in 5 seconds. This is true control of the weapon. This is shooting fast, and this is something that we got to get our head around because technically, in a high stress situation, you're going to fall back to your weakest training. So your weakest training is shooting slow, then it's going to be a challenge for you. That's 5 yards and 5 seconds and 5 rounds. This is a good overall drill to really see where you are. And you're going to shoot this at all three distances. Let's say you shoot it at 3 yards. Let's shoot, if, and you shoot it at 3 yards and do okay with it, then you move on to 5 yards. And if you shoot okay at 5 yards, then you're going to move to 7 yards. And if you shoot okay at 7 yards, you can shoot these at 10 yards. So that's the great thing about that. This 5 by 5 by 5 really is your graduation into tactical shooting at that point in time. Because if you're able to do that and be consistent and rounds are going where they need to be, you're controlling the firearm. 5 rounds, 5 yards, 5 seconds controls the firearm, keeps it on target. It helps with you. You got to work on your recoil management, and it's a great defensive drill because you're not going to be shooting 1 round at the bad guy. You're going to be putting a lot of rounds on the bad guy, and that's the idea of buying a gun, buying a Derringer for a gunfight with 2 shots versus a Glock 19 with 15 rounds, or a Shield with 15, or an Equalizer with 15. The higher the capacity, the more chances you have, guys. All right, so let's go to the next one. And the last one is point shooting. I don't know how much you guys have done that. And of course, Johnny made me look silly in that picture. But technically, you need to be able to point that gun and find your target. Point shooting is something that needs to be practiced. You don't need sights on a weapon to engage the target. You just need to be able to make sure you point the weapon at a level. A level pistol shoots level, guys. That's the only thing you need to think about. If I keep the gun level and I bend at my waist and I slowly press the trigger, it's going to go exactly where you need it to go. And this is why I think these 10 drills are the best 10 drills we can give you. Now, do you need to come to the range and shoot every one of these each time? No, find the ones you like. Find the one that's going to work for you. And once it works for you, then make sure you're doing something. Come into the range. Listen, I get it. Come into the range and John Wicken and shooting a bunch of rounds down range, and they're all over the place. That's not helping you tremendously. That's going to hurt you more than anything else because it's physically going to cause you to have inconsistencies. Remember, pressing the trigger, not pulling the trigger. That's the key. That's the most important thing. What's the conclusion of all these things? You use a few of these drills. Each time you come to the range, you're going to get something out of it. I'm going to let you shoot some high, fast shooting. I'm going to let you take a magazine and you put 30 rounds in it and blast all the way. But at the end of that, what do you learn from that besides wasting ammo? The gun store makes money if you buy ammo from them, but every time you pick the weapon up, you're picking up a habit. Make sure that habit's a good habit, not a bad habit. You don't have to do all these drills every time. Like I said before, you just got to pick 2 or 3 of them. You should have a plan when you come to the range. Besides seeing me coming to the range and looking at product, I get that. But have a plan of what you're going to do. I know stress builds up on people. They want to come to the range and just blast off. I get that. But at the long run, remember, this is your job. You need to protect yourself and your family and make sure you're proficient with a pistol. You're responsible for your bullet until it hits the ground. And every one of these drills we gave you today are working on your fundamentals, working on your grip, your stance, your trigger control, your sight picture, your sight alignment, and getting you comfortable shooting. Full playlist of all these videos are on our channel. And all you got to do is go to our YouTube channel, click firearms drills you should need to know, and you can watch them and find the best ones for you and pick them up. All right, cool. Let's get out of this full screen, go back to my pretty face. Gonna go back up here, take this off. There I am. All right, guys. So there we go. That is there. Take off the Mr. When Pigs Fly. We're going to go next thing we're going to talk a little bit about is range etiquette. And range etiquette is something things that we need to get our head around because a lot of people on this phone call or a lot of people are going to watch this after it's not live. They may be new to shooting and they're looking to know everything they need to know before they even go to the range. And we have this every day. We specialize in first time shooters, and it becomes something that most people need to know a little bit about everything there is to know about going to the range. We got some comments. Let's see what we got here. All right. Hulk, welcome back, buddy. Welcome back from North Carolina. Thank you, Hulk. I'm glad you're back. You were on the calls a while back. We appreciate you listening here, and thank you very much, buddy. So let's go ahead and add this stream there to it. There we go. Range etiquette. There's a little about the store itself. There's a little bit of my logo there, and there is the picture of the range. So let's go right off the bat. Let's go here and pop it big. There we go. So the overview of range etiquette starts as getting ready, arriving, shooting, after shooting, and leaving. These are the things I think we need to cover. Each one of these has its own special little deal that you got to get your head around to make sure that you understand. It's not very complicated. Most of your gun ranges will have some kind of rules and regulations. Most of the gun ranges have rules and regulations and everything else that are similar to everything else, but you got to make sure you understand all the rules and regulations to the range that you're going to. And this is important. So I thought we would cover these because it will help you tremendously, especially for that person, that new person that's watching this for the very first time and want to know exactly what to do and how to do it. Now, someone comes in here and they are new to shooting. We're going to go back and walk them through some stuff before they get back there. Insurance is expensive, and someone says, I haven't shot before. We don't like you going back without having some idea what you're doing. People don't hurt themselves uh, um, with knowledge, they hurt themselves with not knowledge, and that's kind of one of those deals. That's why most of your gun stores in town don't rent guns because if you're renting a gun, most likely you don't have one. There's a reason why you don't have them. You don't have the knowledge or something else like that. So it becomes very hard for us to rent guns when people don't know how to shoot them. Now, in of our training classes and everything, we do allow rentals, but physical over the weekend, I want to come shoot kind of deal. It's just something we don't do. All right, so let's go the first one. All right, first one is getting ready for the range. Before you leave the house, make sure you think about these things. Attire. Yes, beautiful. Ladies, this is not a fashion show. You don't need to wear high heels. You don't need to wear halter tops, and you don't want to wear halter tops. You don't want to wear tankless tops or anything else. Like gentlemen, you don't want to wear flip flops. Women, you don't want to wear sandals. Those casings that are coming out of that gun are 800 degrees, and they tend to find a place you don't want them to go. Ammo. Ammo is kind of important. Do you have the ammo? Are you going to get some at the range? What you need to think about mostly is every gun store has its own rules and regulations. Some gun stores require you to only use their ammo. If you're bringing ammo from home and they're not going to let you shoot your ammo, you're going to have to buy some from them. You need to make sure you have the proper ammo that you need. Secondary thing, some of the gun stores like us, we don't allow reloads and we don't allow aluminum rounds or steel rounds because our guys who buy our brass are picky and they don't want to pick all that stuff out of there. So you could only use brass on brass. Uh, i- is your firearm loaded? Now, obviously, if you're leaving the house, the firearm that's on your side, your concealed carry license, that could be loaded. That's on your body. But the guns that are in your range bag should never be loaded. Should never be loaded until you're at the range and they're pointing in a safe direction downrange. And do you need to call ahead? Now, we don't require reservations here. There are some gun stores that offer reservations. That's something you need to check with your gun store in your area or your range in your area. We don't require reservations, but we do have open range time at a certain time. We are a training facility, so every day we have range time from 10 a.m. Range time is from 1 o'clock to close Monday through Thursday. That's till 7 o'clock, and then Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays we have range time all day. That's from 10 a.m. to 7 on Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 5 on Sunday. Any other time than that, we will not allow range time. Some more ranges are open at any time, and they have. And most some do reservations. You can do memberships as well. We have memberships, but that's kind of one of the things you got to find out before you go to the range. All right. Arriving at the range. Now what? Here's the points. Don't forget. Do you need to buy ammo? Do you have the proper protection gear? Do you have eyewear? Do you have earwear? Do you have safety glasses? You cannot go back into any range without having that stuff. The range itself will not let you go back without having your safety gear. Have you signed the liability form? Now, liability forms are done through us on our table out front there. Some companies have computers that you can go right on and do it through the computer. You must have a liability form signed, and then you got to check with ages. What ages do they allow? Some gun ranges do not allow children. We are a training facility. We love children. Right now in the back, there are 5 kids back there shooting 22s with parents, and we set up reactionary targets in our area here. If you're not 18 years or older, you can't go to the gun range. What a shame, right? We need these young kids to learn about shooting and fundamentals and everything else like that, but the local gun ranges around here don't allow it. Well, I don't know why. Well, they think the kids are going to run around. Most of the kids that come shooting have parents, and the parents themselves are very respectful, which in turn makes the kids respectful. This is not a game, but we got to make sure that they understand it's not a toy, but it's something that they can get and you can teach them, and they can have it for the rest of their life at that point in time. Is there special protocol for entering the range? Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but most of your ranges have some kind of sally port. And a sally port, excuse me, someone's at the front there. A sally port is a airspace between A and B. So in other words, we have two doors. We have a door that comes from the gun range to the gun store. And between those two is a area of air. And door has to be open for the other door to be open. And that's called a protocol door. So what ends up happening is if the front door is open, the back door has to be closed because if people shooting back there, you wouldn't have all that loud noise going all the way through the store. So the first door opens, then the second door opens. And a lot of people got to follow those special entering the range protocols. We talked about PFDs, right? It'll be PFDs, personal floating devices. You don't need floating devices at the gun range, guys, but you do need protection gear for earwear, eyewear, and all that stuff like that. So the idea, you got to make sure all that stuff's on before you enter the range, and once you're in the range, you need to keep them on at all times. If you don't keep them on at all times, when you hear a big bang, it's going to be a challenge for you because it'll be very loud. Indoor ranges, you get a lot of recoil off the walls as much as you get in your ears because the concussion of setting someone next to you or coming off the walls and everything else like that. So arriving to the range, that's one of those things you got to get your head around. Okay, so shooting at the range. Now you've been assigned a lane. That's what normally happens. You come in the door, you tell them you want to shoot. They say, "Do you need the ammo?" That's how it normally works. And then at that point in time, they're going to give you a lane. You could be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way out to whatever. We have 5 lanes here because we're a training facility. There's some ranges that have 15 or 20. It's according to what you're shooting. Some have larger ranges, some have longer distances, some are indoor ranges, some are outdoor ranges. So what you need to do now is you need to what's the unpacking procedure. Now each range has its own. I'll give you what ours is. This is important. You get your head around. So you go to your lane they tell you to go to. You're going to unload your weapons out of your bag, put your weapons on the table. Make sure they're pointed down range, not turned to the left, not turned to the right. Then from there, you can take your backpack and the ammo and everything and put that on the table as well. And then you put your bag behind you. Now, why that's important is we don't want you putting your bag on the back counter and walking to your lane. That means you're going to be walking around with a pistol in your hand. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you take your bag to your gun, not your gun to your bag. Another thing is look around, see the area, find out where the first aid kit is, find out if there's an address to where something were to happen. Do you know where you're at? Do you know the address of the place? We have a little sign here at the store that tells people our address, tells people where we're located, tells people all the information they need to know in case of emergencies and everything else like that. Because you may be the person that needs to call, and you got to make sure you know. So you need to know where the first aid kit is. All right, where should your firearm be pointed? Obviously, pointed down range. You need to make sure you know your target, what's beyond. So always make sure, and this includes when you are changing your magazines. If you can't look at your gun and change your magazine while it's pointed down range, then you need to step to the side and then unload it this way. Because if you physically are turning that gun sideways to look at your magazine lever, then who's next to you? Would you be happy if someone's pointing a gun at you? And the answer is no. All right, how are you supposed to handle any kind of misfires or jams? Now, here's what we tell everyone here: do not, do not try to fix anything on your own. If you pull the trigger and it goes click and not bang, you need to make sure you have that gun pointed down range, unless you know 100% you know to rack it and get it out of there. But any other thing besides that, you come get the range officer or you come get me and we will handle that for you. You need to make sure, because misfires and hang fires and all that stuff are very unlikely, but double feeds unlikely. But we can't have you messing around with that if you don't know how to fix it. So make sure you understand all that. And there's Are there any procedures or special codes you need to be listening to? Codes for an indoor range are kind of one of those deals you will hear once in a while. Last week, someone was shooting and shot the rope on lane 3. We called cold for a few seconds so we could go out and get the papers and get everything else and fix the rope real fast. So we have hot and cold. We Your mostly outdoor ranges have the same system, hot or cold. When the range is hot, that means it's live and you can shoot, you can load your magazines, you can do all you need to do. When the range is cold, you need to step away from your weapon. Make sure your weapon's at a slide lock position. And normally on an outdoor range, there's a blue line on the floor that you would step back behind. If someone's going out and putting targets on an outdoor range, you want to make sure that nobody's in their booths while they're out there. So that's important. Hot and cold is probably one of the best words. And obviously, if 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 someone screams stop shooting or anything else like that, but most people, the hot and cold is a term that's used on a regular basis. All right, let's see what else we have here. All right. All right. So here, after you finish shooting, what are the next steps to ensure that you're and everyone else around you is safe? All right. So here we go. What's the procedure for packing up your firearm? I kind of told you this already, but we'll go through it again. You would never take your gun to your bag. You would always bring your bag to your gun. You would clean up all your brush. You want to make a gun store mad? You don't clean up after yourself. I always tell people here, your mama doesn't work here, so make sure you clean your brass up because the next person behind you don't want to be stepping on any of that brass. So you sweep it all up, put it in the bucket. It's pretty area. We're not asking you to sweep the whole range out, but you have a range that goes from the back wall to the front wall, and it goes from those distances. You need to sweep up all the brass and all the paper that you put down there and put it in the trash cans, and the brass itself goes in the bucket. If you borrowed earwear and eyewear, where should you put it? What should you do with it? We have an area that we put dirty eyewear and earwear in that we could clean up and reuse for other people. This list isn't a crazy list. It's not something that's hard to do, but you got to get your head around it because at the end of it, these are things that most people do not know when they're um, physically first time going to the range. There's a lot of stuff that you just had no clue about. All right, leaving the range. All right, so here's the beauty of that. I love the leaving the range part because that kind of gets you in the gun store. In the gun store, you're allowed to look around, and most likely your wife's not with you, or your husband, ladies. I'll let you have some fun too. And there may be something you might look at or see or look at anything. So there's a few things you need to think about before you go home. What's the first one? Do you need to restock on ammo? Here's what I'll tell you. If you have a 9mm at home, you better make sure you have at least 500 rounds of ammo for it. Every firearm you have at home, you need 500 rounds of ammo for, because a weapon without ammo is nothing. It's a glorified hammer at that point in time, and we're very quickly you could run out of ammo. So you want to make sure that you always bring 100 rounds of whatever you plan to shoot. Bring 100 rounds to the range, just in case the day you go to the gun store isn't out of ammo, so it wasn't a wasted trip. And then if they have ammo, then you buy 100 rounds to go home with, and then you're always gonna have that 500 rounds stacked up because you never know when the next thing's gonna. You never know about zombies, guys. Got to make sure you have enough rounds for zombies. All right. Did you see or hear anything in the range that you would like to inform the employees? This is one of my pet peeves. I have a big hole in one of my plexiglass windows between two of our ranges. Now, obviously, somebody didn't do that and tell me about it. They did that and then ran away. Now, we went back to look at our video and we found out who it was, and it was a lady who had her finger on the trigger when it shouldn't be there. Now, obviously, she pulled the trigger and she was embarrassed. She didn't want to tell us. But at the end of it, it could very, very easily happen. So if you see something that you need to report, please report it because at that point in time, it helps us tremendously make this safe place for you and everybody else that's around. Do you want to shop around? Yeah, I like that idea. There are a lot of neat stuff. The cool thing about a training facility versus a gun range is that everything up front's shootable, guys. So if you find something in that box that you like and you want to try it, we'll take you back, let you put 5 rounds down range, and then pick the gun you like. That's the beauty of that. And we have classes. We book classes all the time. Once you become part of our family, you get those discounted classes as well. We have training classes almost every day. We have group classes. We have concealed carry classes. We have all kinds of stuff. You want to work on your proficiency, get a little bit better, become more active, become more the accuracy thing about it, we can help you with that as well. And then after that, hit that bathroom, man. Do not go out of the range without washing your hands. Most people, what do? They go to the range and then where do they go? To the bar or to the restaurant to eat, right? If you have lead on your hands and you're eating lead, guys. That's why you don't chew gum in the range. That's why you don't drink in the range, because that filtration system back there does everything it can, but lead is floating in the air. Gunshot residue is all over your hands. You need to wash your hands, and we have a thing called D-lead. D-lead soap de-leads your hands, and as you wash your hands before you leave, it's going to be very important you make sure you clean your hands because you want your lead count to be low, not high. Yeah, and then being a guy who works at a gun range, 365, I wash my hands continuously with that D-lead, and my lead count is down because of it. Pretty economical product to pick up. Should be in your range bags at all times. So leave in the range. All right, so bonus things I want to make sure you understand more than anything else is obviously that list is not a all be all. Each range is going to have its own little deal, but in my opinion, those things we're giving you are ideas that you need to make sure you have just a concept of. And at that point in time, it'll be better for you in the long run, and you won't be looked at funny with three eyes when the guy goes to the gun store because basically you want to know more than the guy next to you. That's the most important thing. All right, so let's pull this off here. Get out of range etiquette here. Let's look at some of our comments here. See if we can find some stuff that we want to talk about. Let's get here and get the range etiquette banner off there. This is great. Banners, range etiquette off there. Hop that. All right, guys, do not forget our website. We actually have a lot of different stuff that we offer. This call goes all over the United States, and we actually have our online concealed carry class for non-residents that we looked at and bought and purchased through our website. The the non-resident concealed carry permit will give you 30 states in Florida you can carry concealed in. You do not need to be a Florida resident. You don't need to be live in Florida. That class is $74.99. It gives you everything you need. All you got to do at that point in time, we give you a shot requirement. You take our video, you watch our video, you take our target to the range, shoot, send that into Tallahassee at that point in time. We'll send you a completion certificate, your driver's license, and you'll have your Florida permit. The Florida permit will give you 30 states you'll be able to travel concealed in, even if you live in one of those crazy states that don't allow firearms, like California or New York and all those places like that. You after you're out of those states, you'll be able to be carrying on your Florida permit. Florida is probably the best one to get in a non-resident person. Non-resident Florida concealed carry permit is pretty easy, simple, and not that hard to get. You'd like to learn more about that? Go to our website and hit non-resident concealed carry permit. All right, so let's look at the comments. All right, Hook event. Thank you for trying those drills. I hope you do, sir. Mark, beautiful, awesome, awesome. Well, guys, I'm having fun doing these lives. I am adding and adding and adding. I really like them. They're getting better and better and better. I can tell you that I am I'm feeling more comfortable doing them. It seems to be working. We're getting a lot more people to see these. I was so surprised how many people watch these after the live. We're still working on getting that live number up a little bit. But if you know somebody that could use my services or likes the live, you can always tell them about it. It will help us tremendously. Uh, do we have any questions from anybody out there? If not, we are going to shut this thing down here in a little bit. I do appreciate you guys always coming on these lives. We are so close to monetization. It is not funny. You got to have 4,000 watch hours, and we're at 3,560 or something today. And we have the memberships. We have all that stuff that you can get on there as well. We have the store on our YouTube channel that you can buy some of our swag. We have T-shirts, we have hats, and things like that. All that stuff's going towards a new camera. I I've been using my cell phone forever to do these things, and I think that once we get that new camera, I'll probably go back to my cell phone. But so much everyone keeps talking about how good a camera will be or anything else like that. So until next time, guys, I really appreciate you being here. I love you guys tremendously. I thank you so much for supporting this small family-owned business through their YouTube journey. If you have anything that you need us to try to work on or give you any information, okay. So the memberships themselves, Mark J, are you talking about The store memberships, or are you talking about the YouTube membership? Let's see if he can respond back to that. Because the YouTube membership is pretty easy. You go to subscribe, and there'll be a thing that says join, and you pick a monetary amount of money that you want to uh, pay per month, and with that information, he's saying both, guys. So I'm going to give you both now. Uh, the the YouTube Live thing is very simple. You go right to our subscribe button. There'll be a join. The join will allow you to do a membership. I think it's $2.99 per month, and then $6.99, and then some crazy $24.99. And basically, each one of those has an event. It has a little icon you get, and then we do special things. When we get to 10 members or more, we're going to do special ones like this for members, just private. They get it all first. They get videos before anybody else gets videos. They'll have special events for members only. So that's oh, we just got a member. Natasha, thank you, honey. Appreciate that very much. That means an awful lot to me, sweetheart. It really does. Thank you. Thank you. So we have memberships going on. Now, the store memberships, we have a special going on right now. If you're in the local area, we actually physically have our membership to the store, and this gives you free range time. I should say unlimited range time from the time that we're open, range time opening. So let's say go back to range. We're open from 1 o'clock to 7, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, we're open from 11 o'clock to, 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Saturdays, we're open from 10 o'clock to 6, and Sundays we're open from 10 a.m. to 5. And any of those times you can come and shoot with us for free. We give you free targets. We give you a discounted rate on ammo. We give you discounted rate on any of our training. You get best prices at the gun store if you're looking for. We don't charge retail anyways, guys. Gun business is a weird business. I'm making 75 to 80 bucks on a pistol on a regular basis. We're not making a couple hundred, $200. Only thing we make $100 on is any of the used stuff. I don't, I don't, I don't love guns to bring them here and hold on to them until I get the right money. I buy guns at a good price to pass on a good price. That membership the for the members is during the summer. We've done a special for $39.99. Now, our standard price. I'm going to grab a piece of paper here real quick. I apologize. Our standard price for range time is $20 for up to 2 people for 1 hour. So, if you did the $20, if you came twice a month, you're paying over what the membership would be. And that's kind of why the members are so important. For us, we offer the memberships because it gives us, we prorate it all the way to the first. So, it's $1.31 a day, basically, if you were to calculate it for 31 days. And what we do there is, let's say you were to join the membership, your first payment is due on the month coming up, plus any prorated time we have. Now, the cool thing is we have option two is you to buy the full thing out. If you buy the full thing out, we give you the 12 months for the price of 11. Now, if you're going to shoot more than twice a month, you're going to pay over it. Our standard fee normally without the summer is the $49.99, but we did the $39.99 for the summer to build up our memberships. We keep our members down to about, I think we decided 40 members only, and that because I didn't want to overpromise that I wouldn't have range time. I hardly ever have people waiting here to begin with. So at the end of it, it's kind of simple and easy for you to join the membership. You can either call on the phone to join through the membership, or you can just stop by the store. You stop by the store, you fill out the paperwork, you're in, man. You're in. Uh, did I answer your question, Mark? Hope I did, buddy. We would love to have you. If you haven't seen the store or stop by, we would love to have you as a member, man. That's a fun place. Natasha, I keep talking about her. She's one of our members. We have a lot of different people that are out there that are going to be. I think we're at like 18 members right now. I kind of like the whole idea of the memberships because it really puts people wanting to shoot. And we give out those our YouTube membership, Mark. You just look at our front page where it says subscribe. There should be a little button that says join. It should right on the front page or thing that when you go to our main YouTube channel, it just says there. Yeah, we're open tomorrow. We're open. This is Adventures of Happy Hours. He's asking, looking forward to going to your range for first time open tomorrow? Question mark. Yes, we are, Mark. Yes, we are. We are open from tomorrow is Wednesday, right? We're open from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock for range time. And that's $20 for two people for 1 hour. Mention that you were on the YouTube channel. You were on this thing to call, and we'll do a special price for you. All right, just mention it. He gave me a thumbs up. He liked that idea. So hopefully, Mark, you're finding it, buddy. Mark J. I hope you found it. Natasha found it. It should be right on the front page of it. I don't know if I can get to it and kind of tell you where exactly it is without jumping off this thing, but it should be in the front page of our YouTube channel, and there should be a little gray button that says join. JOIN. Hopefully they can. I hate to see that you didn't get that. What we're looking for mostly, guys, is give me some ideas of what you want to see next. That would be all ideal, man. We're working with our Facebook community. We're working with our YouTube community as well, and hopefully we can get a bunch of people to give us some ideas of stuff. We keep throwing these things at the wall, and they're all sticking. And I'm so fortunate to have great customers like yourself. I don't know if you know it, but what I do is a passion. I love it so much, and without having good customers, it would be worth it. But we train students, children, women, wives, husbands. The way the world's coming today, you need to make sure that you're comfortable. Mark, if you can't find it, buddy, don't worry about it. We'll get it figured out. I might be able to send you a link or something like that. On my website, it's on my YouTube channel itself. There's a link to my email. But if you'd like to write my email, you know what? I'll give you my email. That way I could maybe be able to send you a link. Let me type this in here real quick. It's John Dash Johnson at Comcast net. Send me an email, buddy, and I'll try to attach it to you. Okay. There we go, buddy. Oh, by the way, what guns do you want to do reviews on? That's the next thing we want to talk about. If you want to do some rifle stuff, you want to do some ARs, you want to do some maybe sighting in ARs, sighting in red dots, uh, shotguns, any the information. We'll do anything you guys want us to do to get comfortable. We're going to still do most of the stuff we do is going to have to do with firearms training itself because they get a little squirrely when we start, talking about pricing and things like that. But as far as shootabilities and all that stuff, we would love to answer your questions or anything else like that. So if not, we are almost at that hour. We're 59. I was so surprised how long this took tonight. So it's kind of that's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping to start getting these things and start being able to get. So let's go up here and say let's go. We had Mark. We appreciate you being on the call today, buddy. Thank you very much. Baby Natasha, thank you, honey. We really appreciate the lefty shooter. Oh, Natasha's mama. Hello, mama. Glad you're on the phone call. Hulk Hulk, we appreciate you being here. FM Key Lock One, thank you very much for being on the phone call. Mark J, thank you, thank you. Ventures of our happy hours, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you. If nothing else, guys, God bless. Be safe, and remember, you are your first line defense. We're going to go ahead and flip up to the end screen. And I love you guys. Good night.